So we're chatting with Noah from Planetboom. These guys are from Planet Shakers, and they're here in beautiful Hobart here, singing with Will Graham and the massive outreach we're seeing here, and they're in Launceston next week. So, mate, tell us a little bit about how you got involved in Planetboom.
Well, firstly, I think roughly maybe 7-8 years ago, I walked into a Planetboom camp by my mum's forcing, of course. She forced me to go to that. I wasn't saved. I was quite far from God, to be honest with you, and walked in and was just, it was unbelievable. My eyes opened and my heart opened towards God and the possibilities of God, and remember turning my life around in that moment. And went on this journey. I only knew how to do one thing, really, was play sport, and I didn't have this gift to sing or anything like that, or at least I didn't think I did. And I remember, being involved in Boom and going to Boom week in, week out, playing at Boom on our Friday night services. And I remember Pastor Andy, which was our youth pastor. Amy and I, my wife, we're currently youth pastors in our Melbourne campus, so we're running that. But Pastor Andy, at the time, he really helped me along this journey, and that's what God does. He brings people around us to sort of bring the gifts out that God has put in us. I journeyed with him on a lot of things. I remember one morning he just goes and asks me, "Oh, hey, can you rap?" And I go, "No, I can't do that." And he goes, "Oh, we'll try it out." And so I went in the studio with him and Josh Ham, and he spoke to us. He's like, "I've got this song. It was Jesus Over Everything." And it was a worship song, and there was this rap in the end, a spoken word kind of thing. And he's like, "Oh, can you do this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'll give it a try." And that's how it sort of eventuated from there. So,
Well, you're going to have to just give us a little sample of that rap now. Is that all right? Okay, drop it, brother. Drop it for me,
So it started, and he said, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a crack. And so it goes, over every temptation ever aimed against us, over sin and depression, over fear and sickness, over emptiness and loneliness, over silence and shame, over the potential that we've wasted seeking acceptance and fame, over racism and hate, over violence and rage, over every substance we've ever taken trying to avoid all the pain, over success and popularity, over pride and vanity, over everything that would...
You've forgotten.
I forgot it. That's probably up to there.
That's a good sample, bro. That's a good And I also just found out you're the singer of the song Saint, which we play that on Vision 180, our youth station, and I put that on when I go for a run, because it's like, How's that one go again?
I'm not a sinner. I'm a saint. I'm going to live it unashamed. All of my days are for Jesus.
It's so good. And it's got that do, I love it. So, mate, you guys are ministering to young people, and young people have so much anxiety and depression, and they're vaping, they're into all sorts of, trouble these days. What's the message that you bring for the next generation?
Well, I think we're obviously part of Planet Shakers, and I think the vision of Planet Shakers hasn't changed in Planetboom. It's exactly the same, and it is to empower a generation to win a generation. And so we just want to bring the love of God, one, but the reality is in the world we live in, and the generation that is here, they're surrounded by a lot of fake sort of things, and so we come to bring, and we're called to bring the real power of God, and not just a fake experience or just an experience. It's the power of God. Every time we sing, every time we praise, every time we worship, we believe that God is going to move in power and not just an experience.
So good, mate. And, you're here travelling with Will Graham, Billy Graham's grandson. People are coming to Christ all over the place. What's this experience like for you guys?
Oh, it's amazing. I just a couple of years ago, before COVID hit, we were actually on a Franklin Graham tour, Planet Shakers, and that was an unbelievable experience to get to go around Australia, particularly, and see people saved and minister to people around Australia. And this is nothing's changed.